Sure, here are 3 longer scripts rewritten in English. Script 1. Cemetery Operations Coordinator's Encounter. Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we have a bone-chilling story from Jeremy, a dedicated cemetery operations coordinator. Jeremy's job entails ensuring that funeral services run smoothly and that the cemetery grounds are well maintained. One stormy afternoon, as Jeremy was finalizing paperwork in his office, a sudden movement caught his eye outside. Peering through the rain-splattered windows, he spotted Antonio, a somber figure sitting in his car, his gaze fixed on the hearse parked nearby. Antonio, a man in his 30s with a deeply spiritual aura, had come to purchase a plot for his ailing father, who was in hospice care. Jeremy felt a pang of empathy as he observed Antonio's distress, evident even through his thick Hispanic accent. As fate would have it, Antonio's father passed away that same week, and Jeremy found himself assisting with the arrangements for the funeral service. The day of the burial dawned ominously, with dark clouds looming overhead, a stark contrast to the somber mood that engulfed the cemetery. Standing under the shelter of the front awning, Jeremy watched as the procession halted briefly in front of the office building. Through the rain, he exchanged a solemn nod with Antonio, a silent acknowledgement of shared grief. Once the service concluded, Jeremy embarked on his customary rounds, ensuring that all visitors had departed before closing the cemetery gates for the night. However, as he made his final sweep of the grounds, a fleeting glimpse caught his attention. A figure shrouded in darkness darted between the tombstones before disappearing behind a hedge. Alarmed, Jeremy honked his horn, a futile attempt to alert the intruder that the cemetery was closed. Yet, when he ventured closer, the figure had vanished without a trace. Perplexed, Jeremy returned to his office, reviewing CCTV footage in search of any unusual activity. Despite the storm obscuring visibility, the recordings revealed nothing out of the ordinary. With a sense of unease lingering in the air, Jeremy closed up for the night, haunted by the inexplicable encounter. To this day, Jeremy remains uncertain whether the mysterious figure was a trick of the mind or something more sinister, lurking in the shadows of the cemetery. Hey Spooky Squad! Ready for another hair-raising tale? Today we're delving into the reckless escapades of Ryan, Mike, and their fearless friend as they explore a desolate cemetery on a moonlit night. Picture this. It's the heart of October, the air thick with anticipation as Halloween approaches. Ryan, the designated driver for the evening, reluctantly agrees to indulge his adventurous companion's whims and drives them to a nearby cemetery shrouded in darkness. With the witching hour upon them, the trio stealthily scales the iron gates, their adrenaline pumping in anticipation of the unknown. Armed with nothing but the feeble glow of their iPhone flashlights, they venture deeper into the eerie enclave of tombstones and mausoleums. As they navigate the labyrinth of graves, each step is accompanied by a chorus of creaking branches and rustling leaves, heightening their senses to the macabre ambiance. Yet, their bravado begins to wane as an unsettling feeling settles over them, like unseen eyes watching from the shadows. Suddenly, a chilling sight freezes them in their tracks. A spectral figure, clad in flowing white robes, materializes before their eyes. With hearts pounding and breaths caught in their throats, they watch in horror as the apparition advances towards them, its gaze piercing through the veil of darkness. In a panic-induced frenzy, they flee from the spectral entity, their frantic footsteps echoing through the graveyard as they race toward the safety of the cemetery gates. It's a night they'll never forget, a harrowing encounter that leaves them questioning the boundary between the living and the dead. As they huddle in Ryan's car, shaken but unharmed, they replay the terrifying ordeal in their minds, grappling with the reality of what they've witnessed. Was it a ghostly manifestation or a trick of the imagination? Only one thing is certain. Their midnight escapade has left an indelible mark on their psyche, a reminder of the perils that lurk in the darkness. Greetings, fellow thrill-seekers. Today we have a spine-chilling tale that blurs the lines between the realms of the living and the dead. Join us as we unravel the mysterious encounter of Reiki, a skeptic turned believer in the paranormal. Our story begins on a somber July day, as Reiki embarks on a solitary pilgrimage to visit his grandfather's final resting place in a remote cemetery. The air hangs heavy with a sense of melancholy as he traverses the winding paths, guided by the faint echo of his footsteps against the dew-kissed grass. As he approaches his grandfather's grave, a sudden chill grips his spine, sending shivers down his spine. Yet, it is not the cold embrace of the wind that unsettles him, but the inexplicable presence of an elderly figure standing amidst the tombstones, their gaze fixed upon him with an intensity that defies explanation. In a state of disbelief, Nainarak rubs his eyes, half expecting the apparition to vanish into thin air. But to his dismay, the spectral figure remains steadfast, its ethereal form casting a pall over the tranquil surroundings of the cemetery. Stricken with fear and uncertainty, Nainarak retreats to the safety of his car, his mind reeling with the implications of his otherworldly encounter. Was it a visitation from his departed grandfather, or a trick of the imagination born from grief? As he drives home, haunted by the lingering memory of the spectral figure, Nainarak's thoughts are consumed by the inexplicable events of that fateful day. Whether it was a ghostly apparition or a figment of his imagination, one thing remains certain. The boundary between the living and the dead is far more tenuous than he ever dared to imagine. Hey there, thrill seekers. Get ready for another spine-tingling tale straight from the crypts of the unknown. Today we're unraveling the chilling encounter of Marcus, a cemetery keeper with a penchant for the paranormal. Marcus had always been drawn to the eerie allure of the graveyard, finding solace among the silent sentinels of the tombstones. But little did he know that his affinity for the macabre would lead him down a path fraught with terror. It was a moonless night, the darkness swallowing the cemetery in an impenetrable shroud. As Marcus patrolled the grounds, his footsteps muffled by the soft earth beneath, he couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Suddenly, a cold gust of wind swept through the graveyard, carrying with it a whispered chorus of disembodied voices. Marcus froze, his heart pounding in his chest as he strained to discern the source of the unearthly cacophony. To his horror, he realized that the voices emanated from the shadows themselves, their spectral forms coalescing around him in a ghastly dance of despair. With every fiber of his being screaming for him to flee, Marcus stood his ground, determined to confront the spectral intruders head-on. In a moment of sheer terror, the apparitions surged forward, their ethereal hands reaching out to ensnare him in their icy grip. But just as all hope seemed lost, Marcus summoned his courage and uttered a prayer, invoking the divine protection of the heavens above. To his amazement, the spirits recoiled at the sound of his invocation, their wails of anguish drowned out by the celestial chorus of angels. With a final burst of courage, Marcus banished the malevolent entities back into the darkness from whence they came, emerging victorious in his harrowing battle against the forces of the unknown. As dawn broke over the horizon, casting its golden rays upon the hallowed grounds of the cemetery, Marcus knew that he had faced his greatest fear and emerged unscathed. From that day forth, he remained ever vigilant, a silent guardian against the encroaching darkness that lurked within the shadows of the night. Greetings, fellow seekers of the supernatural. Prepare yourselves for a tale of terror unlike any other, as we delve into the cursed history of the forgotten graveyard that lies beyond the veil of reality. Legend has it that nestled within the heart of the forest lies a graveyard long abandoned by the living, its crumbling tombstones a testament to the passage of time. Few dare to venture into its shadowy depths, for it is said that those who disturb the slumber of the dead do so at their own peril. Enter Sarah, a curious soul with a penchant for the paranormal, who embarked on a journey to uncover the secrets hidden within the decaying mausoleums of the forgotten graveyard. Armed with nothing but her wits and a flickering flashlight, she braved the darkness in search of answers. As she wandered among the dilapidated graves, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, the oppressive weight of the graveyard's malevolent aura bearing down upon her with each passing moment. Yet she pressed on, driven by an insatiable thirst for knowledge. Suddenly, a voice echoed through the stillness of the night, its haunting melody sending shivers down Sarah's spine. She turned to flee, only to find herself ensnared in a web of ethereal tendrils, their icy grip pulling her deeper into the heart of darkness. With every step, Sarah felt the veil between the living and the dead grow thinner. The boundary between reality and nightmare blurred beyond recognition. She knew then that she had stumbled upon something far more sinister than she could have ever imagined. As dawn broke over the horizon, bathing the graveyard in a soft golden light, Sarah emerged from the depths of the cursed graveyard, her mind haunted by the horrors she had witnessed. From that day forth, she vowed to leave the secrets of the forgotten graveyard undisturbed, lest she unleash a darkness that could consume them all. Today, we're venturing into the realm of the supernatural once more, as we uncover the ghostly guardians that lurk within the shadowy confines of the cemetery gates. Meet Emily, a skeptical skeptic with a penchant for debunking the paranormal. Despite her rational worldview, Emily found herself drawn to the enigmatic allure of the cemetery, where she hoped to unravel the mysteries that lay hidden within its ancient tombstones. As she approached the imposing wrought iron gates, Emily couldn't shake the feeling of unease that prickled at the back of her neck. Ignoring her instincts, she pressed on, her curiosity piqued by the whispered tales of spectral apparitions that prowled the graveyard after dark. With each step, the air grew colder, the oppressive weight of the graveyard's history bearing down upon her with a suffocating intensity. Yet, Emily remained undeterred, her determination unyielding in the face of the unknown. Suddenly, a pair of luminous eyes appeared before her, their spectral gaze piercing through the darkness with an otherworldly intensity. Emily gasped in horror, her rational mind struggling to comprehend the unearthly entity that stood before her. To her amazement, the ghostly figure extended a hand in greeting, its ethereal form bathed in an eerie glow that defied the laws of nature. With a sense of trepidation, Emily reached out to touch the apparition, her fingertips tingling with a strange energy. In that moment, she felt a surge of warmth wash over her, a sensation of peace and tranquility that transcended the boundaries of the mortal realm. With a newfound sense of clarity, Emily realized that the ghostly guardians of the cemetery gates were not harbingers of doom, but protectors of the souls that lay at rest within. As she bid farewell to the spectral guardians and ventured back into the realm of the living, Emily knew that she had witnessed something truly extraordinary, a glimpse into the mysteries of the afterlife that would stay with her for a lifetime.